How's it going, everyone? Welcome back to the channel. It is March Madness time. It's the best weekend of the year for basketball fans, and we're going to talk about a couple sleeper prospects I like. March Madness guys, players you're going to see in the tournament for at least one game who are not getting enough draft love and could get more with a good performance. So, would really appreciate likes, comments, subscribes, all of that good stuff. The support has been awesome lately. And the first guy we're going to talk about is Anthony Robinson II, Mizzou sophomore guard, and his standout trait is slashing and physicality. He is an absurdly physical player. Look at the bend right here and how low he gets, almost getting his torso close to parallel to keep his leverage, just power through this defender and draw a foul. And this is a good example of just like, I love how much he loves to hit people, and he will get some offensive fouls because of this, but Robinson is just gonna throw his he just throws his arm into this, like just bumps him off, keeps his lane, hops off of 2 feet. So physical and strong despite being pretty wiry at this stage, right? He's only 20 years old, but he's so adept at playing football on the basketball court in the best way possible. This is what Robinson does. He's physical, and sometimes that gets him into trouble. You know, he tries to seek out contact here, but a veteran Walter Clayton is just going to back off and not give him the content, so Robinson loses the ball. But his free throw numbers are truly absurd. Among high major underclassmen, he is first in the country in free throw rate, 78.4. That is ridiculously high. And just his overall statistical profile is great. 5 steal rate, 2.1 assist to turnover ratio, incredibly efficient as well as 63 true shooting, like really high level, box plus minus likes him as well. He is a very high level player who's not getting enough love at all. Despite being one of the most important players for a great Missouri team. And handle, physicality, again, we see he has a very unique driving cadence where he's good at stopping and starting and bumps and creates space with his handle, bumps again, pushes this defender back, bumps again, gets on 2 feet, so good at playing off of 2 feet in the lane, and he has excellent touch to hit these floaters. One of the premier jail users in the class, right? And I love this play where he puts his defender in jail, but he snakes it back here using this screen to get space for a wide open floater that Robinson is able to convert. So the driving, the slashing, all really impressive. And he's an excellent passer as well, as we saw. Great assist to turnover numbers, great assist rates, and he has great burst, gets by the defender easily, draws the help, and finds the easy kick out pass, right? It's his ability to not only create advantages, but capitalize on those advantages as a playmaker. And he's just a very smart player with good instincts and reaction time. This is a special that Missouri likes to run for Caleb Grill, who is one of the best shooters in all of college basketball, right? Hogard is top blocking him, which means he doesn't want to let Grill get out this way, but Robinson knows that. He's passing to the slip right here. Perfect timing. Great play by Grill as well. And those plays obviously, helps having one of the best shooters in all of college basketball in Caleb Grill, but Robinson's ability to read the play and more physicality, Robinson just bumping people, creates a ton of space on this bump, Euro step, lay down right there for an easy layup. Awesome playmaker. Here he's going to run the pick and roll, rejects the screen, bump again, and he is one of the most violent players in the draft, which I love. It's such a good thing here. He uses his shoulders and his frame really well, and it's just great awareness to 2 defenders kind of sticking on him. He sees his man coming open. He's going to find him for an easy cut, and Tamar Bates is able to finish the shot. I swear to God, this is not because I'm a Mizzou guy. Like, he's so good. He's so good. And the only thing about Robinson is his shooting. He's shooting like 42% from 3 this year, but it's on very low volume. And because of that, teams will duck under screens against him and give him space, partly because he's a threatening driver, but also because he's not a high volume shooter. And he has gotten better at this as the season has gone on, and teams aren't guarding him the same way. But again, here we see Miles Kelly ducking under the screen. They're going to live with Robinson taking this pull-up, but he's unable to and just drives into traffic. Way harder for him to create advantages, of course, when he is not given, when he's just backed off of. But Robinson showcases some wild space creation on these pull-up jumpers. Hard plants his right foot right here, backs into a step back. And I do think there's enough in terms of his indicator wild shot right here, his great touch, his excellent mid-range stuff, and some of the off-dribble confidence to buy a shooting improvement. And Robinson's defense is also amazing. I showed you earlier 5 steal rate, incredible hands, movement skills. With added strength, I think he can be a really excellent perimeter defender and just really good reaching guys. And of course, great at taking physicality. He takes the bump here easily, stands straight up, doesn't give up any ground, and rips the ball away from AJ Hoggard. And Robinson, I truly believe, is like a top 20 guy in this class. I don't think he's going to declare this year just because he hasn't got much buzz, but if he returns to Mizzou, which I think he will, I could totally see him being a lottery pick next year with more usage and more on-ball reps. He's that talented, in my opinion. And let's move on to a guy who is going to declare this year, Nick Clifford, Colorado State sophomore. I've been in on Nick for a long time. I don't know if I talked about him on the channel, but I've been tweeting about him a bunch for years, and I've talked about this before on the channel about how wings who you project to be role players at the next level, or really anyone, they have to be stars at the college level. And that's the case for Nick. High usage, efficient, 3-level scorer, capable of hitting off-dribble threes, and he's improved massively as a shooter every year, and he's a really confident pull-up shooter from all over the floor. Not just from 3, but great job attacking and closeout here. Hop step to the right. I didn't even notice. This is off of 1 foot fading away. End of the shot clock. Just a very impressive shot maker. Like, this is stuff that's probably not going to happen in the NBA for Nick. I don't anticipate Nick's future NBA team giving him post-up touches, but I think you want to see this star-level usage, isolation post-ups, to feel confident about a guy scaling down, right? It's a lot harder to scale up in your role, to go from, a college role player to an NBA high usage guy. But Nick has shown the ability to be like a lead creator for a really good Colorado State team. And the balance shows up on his spin moves as well, where Clifford gets cut off here. It looks like he's almost out of control, but he keeps his balance, and his ability to get through his spin while keeping top speed. He's moving fast the whole time, hangs in the air, and finishes the and one. Like, very, very impressive play by Nick. And yeah, he can blow by guys and dunk over people. Oh my goodness. He's not like a special athlete, but we see a good enough first couple steps here to blow by the defender. And from here, it's just, oh my goodness. Nick can really get up when he has time and when he has a runway. And man, he doesn't win off of the dribble cleanly as much as maybe you'd like him to, or much as I'd like him to at times, but he definitely can. And Nick's passing is also excellent. He's really manipulative, and I love how he uses his own scoring threat here to open up a pass inside, where Clifford loves to just, like, as we've seen earlier, sidestep into jumpers that pulls this big man towards him, opening up a pass over top against 2 defenders. So a little manipulation, great understanding of timing. Like, this is point guard stuff that Clifford is doing that he's probably not going to do a lot at the NBA level. It'll be more like closeout attack, secondary stuff, but the fact that he can do it is great. Going to reject the screen, can't create much separation here, and Nick sometimes over relies on the spin move and forces some shots, I think, but this is a great example of, like, look at the vision right here. This is a ballsy pass that honestly might not be a great idea, but he knows that Ethan Morton is cutting behind this defender's momentum, and he finds him right there for a nice layup. And I do like Nick's ambition, even if some of the decisions aren't always perfect on the passes he decides to hit. But yeah, just a really impressive pick-and-roll playmaker. I do think Nick's defense has slipped a bit this year as he's played a bit more on the ball. Like, he'll give up the middle defending at the point of attack. And I just don't think he's as sharp rotating or with his off-ball activity. But this is a very common thing we see in high usage older college players who have scaled up a ton and project to be role players, and right when they're in their role player role, they can expend more energy on defense, because Clifford clearly has the ability and the track record to defend. Great deflection here. His hands are so active and all over the place. Disgusting chase down block here. Again, we see the crazy elevation off of 2 feet. And when Clifford is locked in, like, his mobility is so crazy. He has this ability to, like, detach his hips from his upper and, like, lower body to slide and guard the ball. So I'm not worried about Nick on defense in the long term. I think despite being an older guy, 23, I think teams who just want, like, a wing who can really play, I don't think Nick would be crazy to take in, like, the late lottery, to be perfectly honest. He's just so skilled and talented, and he's more than your garden variety 3-and-D wing, right? Because he's a real driver. He's got high-level passing stuff. He can shoot off the dribble and really defend. So Nick is one of my favorite role player bets in the entire draft, and I hope Colorado State makes it out of the first round because I really do want to watch a bunch of them. Let's move on to our third and final March Madness sleeper of the video, and that's Iowa State sophomore Joshua Jefferson, who's one of my favorite defensive players in the entire class. This is one of my favorite plays on the whole clip, where you can see Jefferson, number 2, he hedges out and recovers back to KJ Adams. He's going to deflect. He's going to poke the ball out. His hands are absolutely incredible. And then he's going to make this absurd rotation down to Hunter Dickinson. This should be a layup, right? But Jefferson makes it all the way down here, explodes off of 2 feet, and blocks the shot with great timing. He's an excellent bet to be a weak side 4-man shot blocker because he has great instincts and recognition. He notices what's happening here. Taman Lipsey is behind the play. This big is sealing off a driving lane, so Jefferson knows he's the one that has to react and save this play, and he just comes out of nowhere and blocks that shot. It's a really effective low man at the college level, very vertical, explosive, strong, and I think he can totally translate to the NBA level as a real shot blocker. And we can just see the versatility here. He's playing as a hedge big man initially, right, which is a fight over and a force out, which turns into a switch. Jefferson switched onto a guard. They try to attack him, right? You know, that's normally a good thing, but look at Jefferson move his feet, flip his hips. He's going to end up blocking this shot on the ball with his length. Such an impressive playmaker. And if we just look at the numbers, Jefferson is at a 3 block rate and a 4.1 steal rate. Not a lot of 6'6 plus players in history with those numbers. Only 3 have been drafted: Tari Eason, Chris Singleton, and Jay Crowder. Robert Covington among this list, who is undrafted somehow, but really rare combination of size and playmaking tools for Jefferson, and you can't dribble around him with a loose handle. He is going to rip you with his length and his timing and his reflexes. Very hard player to play against on offense, and he has awesome instincts as well. This is another one of my favorite plays of him, right? Where Iowa State is hedging out, which means theoretically there should be a 4-on-3 advantage right here, right? 1, 2, 3, 4 versus 1, 2, 3, right? But Jefferson's effectively guarding 2 at once here. He's going to shade up and then recover out to the corner to get that steal. And his defending from disadvantage is such a valuable trait. He is a bit of a freelancer, and that could get him into trouble and might not fit every defensive scheme because he likes to just kind of stare at the ball sometimes. And, you know, if the offense was playing good offense, this would have been a wide open dunk or a space to the corner for a 3. But Jefferson's able to float around and just get his hands on that, and I think that technically counted as a block. But defensively, such an awesome player. Offense is the issue. 6'8 guy, again, not really a shooter. Low volume, 33% is fine. Good 2-point numbers overall and like an efficient college scorer, but I have definite worries about the scoring translating, and part of that is the shooting. Look at how K-State is guarding him. Number 2 here is just sitting in the paint because he's not worried about Jefferson at all. He can just be an extra helper to prevent this pass over top, right? Because there's an extra defender here. Ball eventually reaches Jefferson, and he goes straight into a post-up. He's going to try to work on this defender, and he's going to end up turning it over in traffic. And I think all of this stems from his inability to draw help as a shooter. And a lot of what he does is like trying to win with strength and touch and size. And while that can work for some players, it's a hard way to live. And, you know, even at the college level, right? It's hard to just live on these tough shots using his frame. And Jefferson is super strong. He's skilled. He can draw fouls. But a lot of his buckets are like this, just muscling smaller defenders down. He doesn't have the greatest handle in the world. Like, he's much more comfortable turning his back to a defender rather than dribbling straight up. And that kind of limits his vision and ability to hit passes out. But he does have strength and footwork and touch. But he's really going to need to hit these open threes to hit his ceiling at the NBA level. Again, you see Coleman Hawkins just helping off of Jefferson, leaving him wide ass open. And this time he's able to punish Kansas State, right? Those are the shots that he's going to need to hit. But Jefferson is an excellent passer, which makes me higher on his offense overall. Even though his scoring is weak and that will need to improve, really good feel here. The double comes and he's able to just pass to the wide open spot right there. really impressive awareness and court mapping on a play like this. This is the stuff that I think Jefferson's going to be great at, this advantage extending right here. You have a great shooter and my guy Milan Momcilovic. Two defenders go to him, which leaves you a quick numbers advantage, 1-2 versus 1-2-3. And Jefferson processes the floor so quickly. Quick dribble, bounce pass. He's not going to waste any motion. Excellent decision maker in these spots, which I really value for a complementary player. And beautiful little live dribble lob right there. So Jefferson is a very, very interesting player that I think is a really good like late first, second round bet. Another one who might not even declare because he has no buzz, which is incorrect in my opinion. He is a high level player. I think easily an NBA defender, a guy who would not shock me if one day he is making all defense teams in like at some point in his career, or at least just like a very valuable defender in his role. And if the shooting comes around, I think can be a good offensive player because of just the strength, the physicality, the motor, and the playmaking skill, which is really real. So let me know what you think of this video. Let me know who are your favorite March Madness sleeper prospects, and I hope you learned something, and I hope you're excited to watch these guys play tomorrow.